Could a new state auditor fix fraud in Minnesota? Meet the young Republican who believes the answer is yes and that he's the man for the job. Next. State Representative Elliott Engen is our guest. You were just 22 when you were elected as Minnesota's first Gen Z representative. Here you are, now a second-term lawmaker representing parts of Anoka and Ramsey counties. Thank you so much for joining me. Good to see you, Elliott.
Hey, thanks for having me, Liz. I appreciate it.
We have to start here with fraud. It's such a major concern in Minnesota. You've seen it firsthand as a state representative. What have you been able to see for yourself? Just how bad is it?
It would make the mafia blush, Liz. It's that bad. Every single day, there's a new shady deal. There's a new news breaking headline that's showing more fraud that's being uncovered. There's another FBI raid where they have to kick in a door to find it. And meanwhile, our elites here in Minnesota have not only sat on their hands, but they really incentivized this culture. They've incentivized the fraud, and they've done nothing about it. And only now, when it's a major political issue, it presents an electoral risk for them. That's when they want to suddenly care about it. And so from the first time I ever sat in a committee, and 10 minutes into that committee, before I could even find the bathrooms in the Minnesota Capitol, $9.8 million was flying out the door to a nonprofit that had a connection with one of the legislators who was on the bill. It's been nonstop in Minnesota. And, everyday families are the ones that are footing the bill for all this. So it's really sad.
The Office of the State Auditor plays a role in this, oversees about $60 billion in state spending. The current state auditor, Julie Blaha, announced that she is not seeking re-election. Now, you've recently announced that you are running to take her place. But if elected as the next state auditor, it's a position I think a lot of people aren't even aware. What do they do? What can they do? How would you go about fixing some of these problems we're now hearing about daily with fraud in Minnesota?
Yeah, so ultimately, what Democrats have attempted to do is say that the Office of the Auditor is only supposed to work with localities and municipalities when it comes to preventing fraud and finding it, working alongside them and performing their audits. But we can expand the office. There's nothing in state statute that says that we can't have a fraud prevention and recovery unit that works alongside the BCA and sheriffs and county attorneys and our federal investigators to go and seek out that fraud and be proactive about it. We can also have an expansion of data analytics and integrate some AI tools to help us find that fraud or suspected fraud before it actually comes to light. And then lastly, we can launch a statewide integrity initiative where Minnesotans can actually call in and let us know about suspected fraud that they might be experiencing. That way, they're partners alongside us, and we can really be a watchdog team over our tax dollars together. But there needs to be accountability as well. We need somebody to expose it before, millions more dollars are out the door.
That's what it sounds like, that your focus would be more on prevention, because so many of these stories we're hearing about it's too late. The money's gone.
That's exactly right. And it seems like every 15 minutes there's a new story on it. I think people are almost disenfranchised to how much money is really out there. And it's tough to wrap your head around. When you're talking billions of dollars, that's a lot of money. And 68% of Minnesotans are living paycheck to paycheck as we speak. And the working class is footing the bill for the political class. There's a lot of well-connected people who are involved in this fraud, and that corruption needs to be exposed and investigated as well.
We know that partisanship plays a role in Minnesota politics. According to social media posts, Representative Engen, you've been critical of President Trump in the past. Should Republican voters be concerned about this?
I don't believe so. I think I actually applaud President Trump when I feel like he deserves it. And I'm also critical when I feel that he's not being conservative enough. I voted for him 3 times, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't also hold our own accountable. And I'd hope that Minnesota voters would do the same with me if I was given the privilege to serve as their state auditor. You have to do what you say and say what you do. And I think anytime that, you have quarrels with somebody who is in a position to represent your interests and promote your values, that's a good thing.
It seems you weren't afraid to speak out then. You're not afraid to speak out now. Recently, you've been quite vocal about the White Bear Lake School District in Ramsey County, which you represent, of course. Aside from the sexual assault investigation involving an adult male who somehow enrolled at White Bear Lake High School and calling for the superintendent to resign, you've been vocal in the past, sounding the alarm about the enrollment in that district, dropping nearly 20% in the past few years. What's been going on here?
Well, the culture of fraud is now leaking into even our school districts. I mean, think about how bad it has to be for that to happen. You have a 22-year-old who presents nothing other than a forged Liberian birth certificate and now is roaming free. He's a sexual predator amongst our sons and daughters. This should not happen in the first place. There needs to be, adults in the room that are not just trusting and verifying, but going above and beyond to make sure that our kids are safe. Not only is that a monumental failure on the part of White Bear Lake, but their silence in response to it has been nothing but deafening. I mean, a lot of parents right now are wondering if they should continue to trust this school district to, teach their kids. And quite frankly, they're not doing a great job at that either, with the reading and math scores being what they are. So we just need more accountability across the board. We need government to start serving us again instead of the other way around, because the ROI is just not there anymore.
In running for state auditor, Representative Engen, there are 5 others in the race at this point. Where can people go to learn more about your campaign?
Yeah, thanks so much, Liz. At www.elliottenggen.com. It's a very Norwegian last name, Engen, but we'd love to see you there. And you can check out our plans for the future. We're actually going to be launching a 30 fraud sites in 30 days tour, where we're going to be going across the state and exposing some of the fraud, what allowed it to happen, how we can prevent it in the future, and some of the tools that we're going to be utilizing as we go about this campaign.
I know a lot of plans ahead, a lot of work to do, but State Representative Elliott Engen, thank you so much for serving your district. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Liz. I really appreciate it.
That will do it for this episode of Liz Collin Reports. We'll see you next time.